Is your debt causing you sleepless nights? Knock your debt out with Debt KO. And your debt won't be the only thing keeping you up at night. Debt KO, free impartial advice on all your debt.
This is KUGAN CASSIUS for IFL TV in association with MTK Global.
Stay there, please. I have a presentation to give you. Because you keep avoiding me every time we go to these shows because you're like, Tony, big shot, no. You don't want to interview people. I purchased something for you from back in the day when I was mocked for using the terminology 1000%. I got into the t-shirt printing business and the baby boom business. All right, this is for a little KUGAN. There that, 1000%. This is my little KUGAN. Look at it. Look at it, fit, nappy ass, everything. 1000%. I will follow that up and put it in a clean.
Sorry, much appreciated. Does it come in a pink? Does it come in a pink?
Whatever. Does it go?
Yes.
Don't worry. It's unisex.
You want me? You got to get me a pink one now.
No problem. I can get you a pink one. Whatever colour you want. I can
spray
get you a
it
Latin skin one.
Don't just spray it.
I can get you an adult one. An adult one for you, so you will look like your daughter.
No, thanks.
I'm just saying.
Just get. That's very nice of you. Just get a pink one.
No problem. Done. One problem. I'll just keep that there. Do you like that? I just thought, yeah, cool. That's right. Forever be reminding you of me. I'll be like in your household. In fact, I think you should call her Janelle.
Nelson.
Yeah, call her Janelle. Like Janelle.
Okay.
I think it's cool.
Definitely on the table. I don't know whose table, but it's on the table. How are you, Johnny?
I'm good. I think everybody's... I did a talk the other day for a company, and they're on about this new lockdown coming, and everybody's stressing about the things they couldn't do. And I just said, why don't we just concentrate on the things we can do? And it's like, it's not rocket science. Well, you know, when you think the amount of things you can do now you're at home, you've got the time at home, or I just work on yourselves, work on improving yourselves. So it's new times, and I just think hopefully they said they've got a vaccine. They say hopefully this lockdown will be done before Christmas, but we just got to wait and see. But be patient and spend time working on yourself, some way, somehow. So that's just how I put a stone on in the last one, in the last lockdown. So this time it's not going to happen. I'm going to come back like an Adonis, like a stripper, like a lap dancer. No, like a big black pole dancer. Watch. And you can get size 13 heels as well. 4-inch heels. Blam. Can you imagine my legs in that? Wait. Look.
Oh my.
Hey.
Oh my.
Hey.
All right. Sit down. Before things start happening. Johnny, there's a lot of boxing on this week. I just want to mention there's a show on tonight with Boxer. There's a show on tomorrow night, MTK. Frank Warren's got a show on Friday night. And obviously Matchroom have got a show on Saturday night with the...
Hell's Boxing in America's fighting on Saturday as well against Terence Crawford as well.
Yes, of course.
You've got to commend promoters for making something out of nothing, because it's very hard. And of course, promoters will get the stick when they're making probably more money in the fight and when they put a show on. Now you've got to... This is the downside for promoters, because they've got to... they've got to give the fighters... they're committed to a contract with fighters, so they've got to get them fighting. They're committed to a contract with TV, so now they've got to give something for the TV companies. They're losing on the gate. I know they are, but they're still putting shows on. Look at this week, and with this week alone. So I think for our sport, our business, as I said, our business will always come through and always survive. And plus the shows that are putting on, and it's a leveler. And that's why even before this lockdown, I said there'll be a few shocks in this period, because everybody has the same amount of time to train and prepare, and all they can do is train for fighting. So the ones that you would expect to win may not win anymore. because it's down to the grassroots of who is the best, not the one who's had the most notice.
Absolutely. There is, from a UK perspective, a lot of interest in, like I said, there's 5 different shows on with UK interest this week. So, yeah, shout out to everybody.
Everybody. Yeah.
Triple header on Sky this Saturday, women's world title tilt. Katie Taylor back in action. Obviously, Terry Harper defending her title. And Rachel Ball off the back of her win against Shannon Courtney. Change of opponent for her, but she challenges for the WBA title. So, I mean, I've never known anything like this in my life. 3 women's, not just fights, but world title fights, headlining a card. Brilliant.
It's about time. I know some people might not have been, probably thought, well, why does it have to be? Because I don't know, intentionally it would have been going to be an all-girls show. I think it was just to show how far women's boxing has come to the point where they are headlining the show. And Katie Taylor's done that before anyway. Katie Taylor has had, so it's just to show the talent. And you'll see the GOAT in class where you'll see the likes of Katie Taylor, Terry Harper coming through, and you'll see them all and the talent that they've got. And I think it's important for people to just look and think, you know what, they're just good boxers. That's it. It's not man, woman. They're just good boxers. And I think that show will create as much entertainment. You look at the numbers afterwards. You look at the fights themselves. I do think it'll be an exciting show this weekend. I think they'll all put it on the line, and world titles as well.
Are you there?
Yes, I'm there.
The problem is, because you are in a different area on the Saturday, I'm not allowed to come to where you are. Like that show with Chisora and Usyk, you with Froch and all them.
So the problem is, so this is how strict and how hard it is for everyone. This is how serious the boxing board have got it, the TV companies got it. Basically, if you're there from like this week, you're in a bubble. You're in a bubble with the other reporters. You're in a bubble with the fighters. So therefore, you aren't going home. You're in the hotel. You go to the press conference together. You go to work out together. So you're all in a bubble. You've all been tested before you get in. When I get there on the weekend, I'm tested. I'm tested. Just my temperature's checked, but I'm not allowed to go inside the bubble in case I infect somebody. And they're very strict with that. They're very strict with it, and we just can't. Even when the fight's on, and you want to go down and say hello to somebody or get to ringside, and you cannot do it. And so things have changed, but I understand the seriousness of it. And people don't even shake hands now. They're like, yo, and from a distance. And it's just a bit odd, but it's understandable. So people don't take it personal. It's just one of those things.
People don't want to shake your hand anyway.
Yes, they do. They just give me that. Made up.
Johnny, I want to talk to you about last week's events. Obviously, the big news was Dillon White's fight with Alexander Povetkin is off for the 21st. Obviously, we wish Alexander Povetkin good health.
He's in hospital, man. He's in hospital. Very bad.
Yeah, so we hope he's okay. I know there was loose talk for a couple of days, mainly from Eddie Hearn, really, about possibly replacing Povetkin as an opponent for the 21st. We know Dillon White was eager to fight on that date. He's got a lot of his fighters on the card as well. He's been in camp, etc. But realistically, I think Chisora was mentioned.
Tyson Fury was mentioned. Chisora was mentioned.
Tyson Fury was unrealistic. Where are you going?
Well on. We had a fan trying to get in the room, Jeffrey. Tyson Fury was there. Mentioned. Chisora was mentioned. I don't know. I understand Chisora said, yeah, let's have it. But I think that'd be a high risk. A high risk for him to do that because he's just spent a year training for a fight. He's just had a fight. And then to jump in again into another tough fight with Dillon, I just think it's just too much on the body, and I wouldn't, even though I'd love to see it. I'd probably think, nah, you know what, nah, that's not right. You can't do that. It's just for his own sake, for his own safety. I know make a load of dough, but Nah, you just got to rest the body sometimes, and he's gone through it. I know. Dillon boxed 3 months ago, 4 months ago. He's back in again, but I think for Derek and Dillon again, I could see why it would be attractive, but I don't know. I'm not too sure about that. Dillon and Tyson Fury, I like that.
But that was unrealistic, wasn't it? I mean,
why? Why?
Of course it was.
Why?
Fury's set to fight December the 5th against Cabal, which is technically meant to be I'll put this very loosely, the warm-up, because there's no such thing as a warm-up in heavyweight fights, really. Andy Ruiz was meant to be one of these kind of fights as well, and that didn't turn out right. So, but I suppose it was that type of opponent for Tyson Fury ahead of a Joshua fight next year. So, and that was unrealistic.
Okay, don't get me wrong. I actually think Tyson was right to ignore it. The reason being is because he can't take someone like Dillon on at such short notice. You've got to train for someone specifically like Dillon, and vice versa. So I don't think he's wrong in ignoring it. I do think it was possible, because if one promoter saying, look, yeah, we understand you're the A side, we understand things have been in your favour, we understand, but we're looking for an opponent, you're looking for an opponent, let's do it. Pay-per-view would be mad. And we've seen TV companies work together, we've seen promoters work together. That's what if that's what's going to happen if Tyson Fury ends up boxing Anthony Joshua. They've got to work together. I think it's something that could have happened. I think it was a calculated decision for Fury's camp, not Fury, for Fury's camp saying, nah, we ain't touching that yet. They've got to train for each other specifically. They couldn't step in with each other at such short notice to fight each other. So that would probably be an ego talking, but don't tell me it can't be done, because it can be done.
It can be done. I'm talking about for the 5th of December.
Why not? They're both fit. They're both trained.
Johnny, you've been talking for the last 3 minutes why it was too short for it to happen on the 5th of December.
No. Well, no. What I'm saying to you is, I said for these two to fight each other now, they're going to need months to prepare for each other.
Right.
They can't all of a sudden say this week, right, you boys are on. That's the only reason why. But what I'm saying is, even though Dillon should have boxed on the 22nd, 21st, and Tyson should box on the 5th, there's no harm in either Dillon moving to the 5th or the 5th moving to Dillon's day. There was no harm in that. It's like, you're talking like, what, 10 days? And so there's no harm in that happening. That could have possibly happened. But I do understand them ignoring the cry of Eddie. But don't tell me it's impossible, because that was very possible.
I didn't say it was impossible. I said it was unrealistic to happen on the 5th of December. That's all I said.
All right. I disagree. I disagree.
Of course it was. That fight was never going to come off on the 5th of December.
Why? Both fighters were fit enough to do it.
Johnny, if I've got to explain that to you, and you're someone who actually is in the know in boxing, why that fight on the 5th of December was so unrealistic to happen.
Just tell me this. Why did Eddie Hearn suggest it?
Do you know all I can explain?
Are you saying Eddie Hearn's full of shit? Are you saying Eddie Hearn's full of shit?
In that moment, I don't believe... I'll answer this. I don't believe that Eddie Hearn genuinely thought we can actually make this happen. This is going to happen, or he was optimistic about it happening. I think he...
Oh, he was just chatting shit.
I think he just threw it out there. That's what I think Hearn did.
All right.
I think he threw it out there on a 5% chance that Fury's team turned around and went, do you know what, we'll have it. On the 5%, I don't think he was any more optimistic than that, and I don't think you believe it.
I think Eddie's very calculated in the things he says and does, and I think if he said it, and there was a slim chance of it happening, otherwise he wouldn't have said it. I honestly think if he could have got away with it, it would have happened. You know, I don't understand what you can't see, what I can't see. I don't understand why it couldn't have happened. TV companies can work together, promoters can work together.
I'm not saying that. But the 5th of December is literally, what, 5 weeks away?
So why? Do you think they'd not be ready?
I'm not saying they wouldn't be ready, but like you just said there, Tyson Fury is training for Ajit Cabal.
So that's the only reason why I said this fight couldn't happen, because common sense would tell you as a trainer, no, you're not taking this fight such short notice because you need time to train for that particular fight. That's the only reason why I would
Is
say
a
no.
legitimate reason. Or not?
Yes, it is.
With Dillon White, he has stated, or I saw comments from him, where he said that the only person he wanted to fight, if it wasn't Povetkin, was Tyson Fury, because obviously he's only fighting Povetkin to get to Fury in a way anyway. Obviously, he wants to put what happened in Fight Camp, put that right, rather. So that's the only fight that makes sense for him. That's what he said, which is understandable.
I totally get it. And that's what I'm saying. They're fighting men. And trust me, I'm not doubting the attitude or the courage or the intention of either Tyson or Dillon, because I know these guys want to fight. But the advisors behind, they will be the ones that say, look, we don't need that right now. Because as fighters, our ego gets the better of us. And nah, let's do this. I can take him. You know, but if I was in Tyson's team, I'd say no. We ain't doing this yet. If I was in Dillon's team, I'd probably say no as well. Because Dillon, I think if he lost to Tyson, that'd be 2 bumps on the trot. I think, I don't know. I think he's mentally very strong, but I think it'd be hard to get his head around that, to come back as confident as what he still is, because he's still a confident man, even though he got caught by Povetkin. I think business-wise, that needs a build-up, like a Tyson against Joshua. He needs a build-up, he needs time, and it could sell like mad.
Yeah, well, I think with Dillon as well, I think Dillon, for his head, needs to eradicate the whole Povetkin thing. I think he needs to get back in the ring with Povetkin to take that out of his head.
Give it time. Listen, there's a reason for everything. So maybe that fight not happening now gives Dillon a chance to because many have said to jump straight back in with a guy that's just sleeps you. That's a big risk. So he's got to get his head back around and say, right, that won't happen again. But I think it's all the time he's committed. Again, almost 6 months he's been training in training camp in Portugal. So again, it's a wasting. I need to let this out. I need to fight somebody of some sort to keep me up there. He's been preparing to fight somebody there. Then now he's going to fight somebody there, and they're the ones you usually lose to. And we saw that with Anthony Joshua against Ruiz. I'm quite sure I could think of other fighters. When you fight somebody, when you're expecting somebody there, and all of a sudden you think, nah, I'm fighting a lesser opponent in your head, then they're the dangerous fights. They're the ones they're the banana skins. And our sport is littered in history with those kind of banana skins.
Is your debt causing you sleepless nights? Knock your debt out with Debt KO. And your debt won't be the only thing keeping you up at night. Debt KO, free impartial advice on all your debt.